rolling.
Old school with Kevin Smith.
I could get money out of you guys.
You really could.
Yeah, really.
What are you selling?
Do you guys want to finance a film? You can both be in it.
We're the people who are like, I was just following orders.
Truly. Now we know how history happens, and we watch it right here. Just to let people know why we're saying this. The boys had on headphones, as the modern podcasters sometimes want to do. And they asked me if I wanted one, and I said, are we having call-ins? And they said, no. And I said, what are you, fucking cosplaying? Why do you need headphones? You don't, unless they told me they might hear from the producer. But
yes, but
let me tell you something. How many episodes are you on right now?
Ooh.
In total, this is the second version of the show. I would say 100.
And you're worried you need
100.
Aaron to save your ass? You got this.
It's a comfort.
Did you motherfuckers work with, what was the guy who did Veep, the first guy?
Armando?
Okay, he's a tough customer. You worked with Mandel, the second guy?
Yeah.
He's a tough customer.
He is?
You can do this by yourselves. If you survive, look, let's be honest. If you survive Julia Louis-Dreyfus, you can fucking survive without Aaron. No, seriously, was she cool? Look, kids,
God.
the only reason I'm here, fuck your premise. I'm a huge Veep fan. So we'll talk about movies, but I'm just going to blow you two for an hour. How long we got? An hour and 15 minutes?
As much as you
First
like.
off, let me tell you, the premise podcast is completely off. I've been podcasting since 2007. So trust me when I say this. Your podcast should be the length of the movie. It should be a running commentary track that accompanies the movie. And then you could talk as long as you want. You don't have to refer to the movie. Just have it running on the side.
But this is a 3-hour movie.
And look who your guest is. You have the right
This is
guy.
a missed
I give oral, kids, like for a living. That's what I do. I used to be a filmmaker, and now I just give oral constantly, usually for money, not in this case. But I'm a huge Veep fan. When I told this is how I told my wife, Jennifer, my wife of 27 years, that this was happening. I said, you know who I'm going to hang out with next week? She goes, who? And she doesn't give a fuck about nothing. She's so cold. She'll never listen to this. Cold woman. So she goes, who? And I go, the Cloud Botherer, and her fucking face lit up. Instantly, she knew who it was. She goes, what? How? I go, he does a podcast. Guess with who? She goes, who? I go, get on over here, Gingerbread. She goes, no! No! And all we did for the next half hour was do our favorite lines. Like there was one, we were driving to Home Depot today, do the most American fucking thing you could do. We bought a mailbox, for God's sake.
Wow.
Our dogs destroyed our mailbox, so we had to go get a mailbox. We were like, where does one do that? And we've been together 27 years and never bought a mailbox together. So we went to Home Depot, bought a mailbox, and as we were driving back, she's like babbling about she bought some plants and shit, and she's talking about going to plant. And I turned to her just before we hit the Home Depot ramp, and I was just like, Marcel had a problem with glass as well. Oh, come on, that's fucking funny. The delivery of, oh, come on, that's fucking funny is nothing short of brilliant. So this is a Veep podcast for this session. I don't know what you normally do, but we're just going to go deep down the rabbit hole.
Go ahead.
And I'm just going to, it's more like the Chris Farley show. I'm just going to say lines that you guys said, and you'll go like, yes, that was
a line from the television show.
Let's do this, though. If you're doing this podcast, clearly the Veep money ran out, or this is capitalizing on the Veep money. Which is it?
We're not
talking
capitalizing.
to a veteran podcaster.
We're not capitalizing, meaning that we're not generating a lot of revenue.
Right.
But the Veep money has run out.
That's what I always wonder. Like, I watch the show religiously, so to me, and I'm also in this business, but not of this business, because I have a toe in mainstream like y'all, but mostly my shit being independent. Like, when I watch that show and it goes 5-6 seasons, I'm like, everyone must be fucking rich. Like, they must all be able to retire.
No.
Well, I knew that because this motherfucker showed up in the unexpected. So I was like, clearly, but the checks have run out.
But I do think that there is that, I think, to people that don't know the business.
And you're sitting here talking to a 31-year veteran who also doesn't know, like, the business. Like, to me, we were just talking before the show began. Tim was saying you're rewatching Succession. Mm-hmm. And for a second, I was going to be like, at Brian Cox's house? Because everyone in HBO must be a family.
Yeah.
Right.
And y'all must make equal amounts of money. Like, I'm sure y'all made as much as Armando and Gandolfini.
Sure. Yeah.
And Arliss. Like, let's go way back to Robert Wool.
Dream
let's
on.
Not leave him up.
I made some Robert Wool money.
Brian fucking Ben. Is his name? What's his name? Brian Ben. You made Brian Ben money?
Yeah. And now you're doing a podcast? Do you gamble?
There's the podcast.
What happened?
I've been doing podcasts.
We're more like taxi cab confessions money.
it just felt like, fair enough. That's good. Look, that spends. It feels like you guys are jumping into the pool like, hey, everyone else is doing it. Let's fucking do it. We're funny. We could do this. Back in 2007, a young director, falling out of favor with the mainstream, if he ever was, saw podcasting as a way to do something he always dreamed of doing. One day I wanted to own a little radio station. Like in Jersey, there's a station, The Rat, and it's very local. I was like, maybe I could buy that one day because I could just sit around and say whatever I want and play records and stuff. So one day, Scott Mosier is the producer on all the movies I made that people like, not the later ones people can't stand. He was there, and he comes in the office one day, and he goes, have you heard the Ricky Gervais podcast yet? I said, what's a podcast? Because that's how new this concept was. And it wasn't even truly a podcast. They did a radio show that the newspaper bundled, and that's what they called the podcast. But they primarily did it for a radio show over there. So he described it thusly. He goes, it's like a commentary track like we do for a movie, but there's no movie. And I was like, well, fuck, we should do one of these podcasts. And so we started doing a podcast called Smodcast in 2007, and this was the landscape. Ready? Leo Laporte was doing a podcast called This Week in Tech, which it's right there in the title. I ain't burying the lead.
Still around or no?
Yeah. Leo Laporte passed away. No, of course he's still around.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know.
Honestly, I don't either. But he was huge in those days.
Okay.
Leo Laporte was the only name in podcasting. The only other name was the guy who created the art field that we're all sitting here fucking practicing right now. Do y'all know who that is?
Mark Maron.
No.
Joe Rogan.
I was doing it before Mark Maron. I'm just
okay.
saying.
I'm asking.
God bless him, and I'm in all respect, but
Scott Aukerman.
rank amateurs. Oh, stop it!
I know.
I beat them as well.
A podcast.
Like the original podcast.
The OG podcaster.
I know.
If
hold
only
on.
you had No, I'm going to teach you to grow up. You don't need a fucking
Aaron,
producer.
you need to come in the room physically if you want to contribute.
No, you don't even need that. The guest will tell you, provide you the answer. Adam Curry. Y'all remember MTV back in the day? Feathered hair DJ. Hey man, I'm Adam Curry, the one that like your girlfriend maybe wanted to fuck.
Okay.
Adam Curry was the podfather. He's the first one who sits down, records a show, and puts it out on the internet. Now,
Really?
when they write the podcasting book, and they're gonna soon, right?
Yeah.
Because it has swept the fucking world and shit. Do you think he's gonna get credit?
No.
Do you think second, third, fourth through the door is going to get credit?
No, it'll be the first sexy
podcast
name.
empire in 2007. Like that's when we started with Smodcast and shit. So now, as I've gone through the entire lifespan of podcasting and whatnot, and got to a place where I'm like, oh, I'll go make movies again and shit. The whole world started getting into podcasting, and it's something that I bear some responsibility for 10 years straight in every public appearance. And if some folks are like, what do you do? Aside from making films, sometimes I'm on stage and I just try to say funny shit. So for 10 years, over the course of 10 years, I saw 1 million people. And one of my bits at the end of a 3-4 hour show was going like, kids, create a podcast. And I would do this like long bit about how you could do it about anything you want. You don't have to do it about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You just do it about Raphael. That's it, a Raphael only show. So I was advocating for people to go out, take their passion, make it happen in a Flashdance style, talk about whatever the fuck they wanted to talk about. Do you know what never fucking occurred to me? Some people would want to talk about politics. And I think they've all destroyed this fucking medium. This medium was all about fucking joy and a celebration of what you enjoy. And I'm not shitting on this. This is a cool idea. But I'm talking about the motherfuckers who sit in front of a mic and go, you know who the problem is? You know what we got to do? You know who fucking this and this and all that shit? That is all over the marketplace now. Even the comedian podcasts lean into talk about fucking politics. And I'm not going to call myself a Johnny Appleseed, but for an early adapter who went out there extolling the virtues of the medium, I hate what it's become.
Yeah.
But this I love, though, because we meant to talk about a fucking movie, which we haven't talked about at all. And it should be the length of that movie. Again, I'm going to say that.
That's not a bad idea. We may...
Especially, look how funny you two fucking dudes are before a guest gets in the chair. You don't think you could power 3 hours of conversation? And let's be honest, JFK is the longest one. So you really probably wouldn't have to. But for season, are you in season 1 or 2?
We just kind of keep going.
We don't have a...
Stop and make seasons. Give yourself a break. That's what I didn't do. And I burnt out. I once had a podcast every damn day, 5 days a week, 5 different fucking podcasts. One day you just get to a place where you fucking burn out. Then I saw, what was it? The ladies that did that like fucking, what was it called?
The Office one?
No, I mean those ladies, of course. But I'm talking about the ones that did the mystery podcast where they solved the mystery.
Oh,
Murder?
like the true
Snopes.
crime one?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like the first one that everybody, where they would sit there and be like, the name of the guy was blah, blah, blah. They started it. They were very NPR.
I know
But
it.
that's where the podcast exploded, where people are like, holy shit, you can use it to like solve mysteries as well. Of course, there's a wonderful use of the medium, and that exists as well. But the preponderance of them out there is just people getting in front of a mic and getting tribal about shit that never fucking mattered 10 years ago when I got on the mic and started talking about podcasting. Now, that being said, I'm not obtuse. I know politics have existed for a long, long time. But admittedly, over the course of the last decade, the shift has gone from like Marvel movies to politics.
Yeah.
And everybody has a fucking opinion.
Hot take.
But I wonder if
Except
what's
me. I don't
underneath
share
that
mine.
is the same shit that we saw happen with like Friendster and MySpace and Facebook and
Twitter.
All of those things used to be, oh, hey, I get to like
Hey,
talk to some
who
people.
are you? And
Yeah.
what are your interests? And what? You like Bullwinkle? Where do you live? That's
And-
fucking great.
And now they have figured out that like hate and anger drive
Drive funds.
money.
The algorithm.
And so now it makes sense. And I do think it is like we've even had this conversation. And this is sort of insider baseball for just conversations that we've had. I mean, I think both of us have talked about the fact that like if that is what it takes to have something as big as those, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
100%.
No.
I don't want to do that.
I'm gonna, again, this ain't bragging. This is me talking about the time I've been in the space. So back in the days when we would drop a podcast, it would open in the top 10. We can keep it there, and that's not because they were great. There weren't a flurry of other fucking podcasts and shit. So now when you look at like the top podcasts, a lot of them generate clicks, revenues, likes, attention, an audience based on let's get this off our chest. And they just leaned into the, rather than scream therapy, just fucking negative reinforcement of like, hey, what bothers you and shit like that. And, sometimes we like to hear somebody else bitch about their problems. Hey, that's like me. So when I came, back to, it's not like I ever left, but when I was just like, hey, maybe I'll like fucking podcast in earnest again. The ability to grab attention with what I do, which is not fucking that at all. Like, I don't talk politics. I don't want to. That shit doesn't interest me. My job is not that. I'm not fucking an astute enough person to even have that discussion other than like, well, here's my opinion. And as we all know, if you fucking work in this medium and mention your opinion online, everyone's like, fuck you, cock, and shit like that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not being a shitty person, but based on my tax bracket, I pay a lot more taxes than the people that tell me I'm not allowed to express my opinion on the internet. How that works, I have no fucking idea, but whatever the fuck. So it got to a place where I too was like, I don't even want to do this anymore because I can't go negative. I can't get angry. Why would you fucking use this medium to be like, you know what sucks? Like, why? Like,
yeah, we don't need more of that. Well, I just Googled the
much.
top 10 podcasts.
Of current?
Just Google. First
I mean,
Google.
currently meaning.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
Joe Rogan,
course.
Crime Junkie, The Daily, Call Her Daddy, This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn, Dateline, This American Life, Rotten Mango, I don't know that one, Smartless, New Heights with Jason and Travis, Pod Save America. About half of those are political.
Yeah.
Back in the day, none of them. There wasn't a single, in the top 10 chart, it was like fucking Leo Laporte, This Week in Tech, The Happy Tree Friends, which was an animated podcast.
Yeah.
Bill Maher's, not real time, but what they call after time or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Like it was 10 minutes that they did after the show was over and put it up online and stuff. And that was it. So I watched like Mark come in. I watched Joe come in. I remember when Joe was like, Kev, should I use Fleshlight as a sponsor? And I was like, fuck yeah. They'll give you money and they'll give you something to fuck. Like who else does that? They'll send you a box and shit. And then he got real tight with that dude and they did like a supplements company and shit like that. That was all before like he took the pot, before he became a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
Nerdist. I watch Nerdist come and go. They're not even a fucking thing anymore, sadly.
But they were fucking huge.
All right. So if you like what you're listening to, guys, guess what?
You can find the rest of it on Patreon. All you got to do is you go to patreon.com/second in command and subscribe for $5 a month, and you have access to the entire Veep rewatch catalog, which you cannot get anywhere else. Lots of bonus content, and you
The
will
rest
have
of this episode,
the
quite
rest
frankly.
of this episode that you were enjoying. So we'll see you over there, patreon.com/second in command. And here's one other thing. If you sign up on your mobile browser or on desktop, you will avoid a 30% upcharge from Apple. So if you want to pay Apple more money to get the same content, you absolutely can. After you sign up on your mobile web browser or your desktop, you can then use the app and you won't get that 30% upcharge. Just letting you know.
I think I understand what you mean.